welcome in everybody. Those of you that are here at the exact time practice is happening, and also those of you that are tuning into the recording. We're starting a new series today. This one is going to be 4 weeks long, and I'm calling the series Twisted. The inspiration is, of course, all of the physical twists that we know and are familiar with in the yoga practice. In addition to the ones that you're familiar with that are pretty common, we may also be doing some twisted poses that are unique or you've never done before that are more playful in nature. The kind of thematic underpinning for this is I found myself asking, how do I handle twisted situations? And I define twisted situations as situations that feel like unexpected, uncertain, like the apple cart just got turned over, just like kind of out of the blue, like how did I get here? Those kinds of situations I would put in that category of a twisted situation. And so every week we're going to have like a grounding question that we look at. And this first week's question is, how do I want to show up in the context of twisted situations? Not how do I, but like how do I want to show up? How do I want to feel? How do I want to react? How do I want to respond? So starting from that place of hopefulness, that aspirational kind of view of what would my highest self look like if she showed up in a twisted situation? That's what we're going for, and we're going to get to work with it in the body. So we're going to start a little bit abnormally, sort of twisted, by laying on the belly. So lay on the belly, just rest your favorite cheek on the mat, arms can be alongside you. I'm going to stay upright just so that my voice remains clear for you to hear. And just notice which cheek did you put on the floor first? Probably the one that's your favorite or the one that's the most comfortable. Just go ahead and let the full weight of your body settle on the mat. And even just noticing, how does the mind respond to starting here when we typically start, in a seated position or even laying on the back. Now use your next breath to lift your head, rotate to the opposite cheek, and notice, does that twist feel any different? Maybe it's a little bit more uncomfortable. Maybe there's more resistance on that side. How would you like to experience your time in this twist with the neck? Stay one more breath. And start to bring your forehead to the mat. Sweep your arms out as you bend your elbows. Just stack your hands, making a little pillow with your hands. Bend your knees 90 degrees. And then very slow, like you're moving in slow motion, windshield wiper the shins and the feet from left to right, about 2 to 3 times in each direction. This could be continuous movement, or if you want to linger at the edge of one of the sides of the twist, you could. Really nice. The next time you pass through center, stop. Just lower your shins back down to the floor. We're going to set up for a spinal twist from the belly. So swing your right knee out and forward like a frog leg. Lift your chest just enough to thread your left arm underneath you, and then roll over your left side body, reaching the right arm behind you, landing in your spinal twist. And this warm-up is really designed to just kind of send a message to your body about what we're going to be asking it to do for the remainder of the practice. It's also a great time for you to check in with your spine. How does twisting feel in your body today? As you exhale, start to slowly roll back onto your belly. We're just going to switch sides so you can unthread the left arm, lengthen the right leg, and then switch. Find that frog leg on the left, right arm underneath, and then rolling over the right side of the body, left arm behind you. So taking these warm-up twists as a time to kind of see, okay, is my body feeling really open to twisting today? Am I going to need to be a little bit more careful? Are there areas of the spine that need me to give a little bit more attention and mindfulness to how I twist. So just making any notes about that. Use your next exhale to start to slowly roll over. And then unthreading the right arm as you lengthen your left. We're going to come up to a tabletop position. So just pushing into the hands to find the tabletop. And then we're pretty much straight away going to extend our table. So I'm going to send my right leg back, but I'm going to keep my toenails down on the floor for now. Reach my left arm forward. Have the palm facing the midline of your mat. And then I want you to simultaneously on your next inhale, lift arm and leg together to your extended table. Good. We're going to do an extended cat and cow here. So on your next inhale, I want you to think of making a smiley face with your body. Lift the arm, lift the leg. That's your cow. Now exhale, tap the fingertips and the toenails and round the spine. That's your cat. Take that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up like a smiley face. Exhale, lower and round. 1 more of those. Inhale, that extended cow. Exhale, this extended cat. Now come back to extended table. Utthita Dhanurasana, as you bend your back knee, sweep that left hand around, finding the foot, and then push the foot into the hand. Now instead of looking down to the mat, reach your chin forward, lengthen through the front of the throat, and then push down through the entire length of your right arm. Stay 1 more breath in. No slingshots here. Gently release that left foot. Lower left hand and right knee. First down dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Take a couple breaths here. Just kind of walk it out. Maybe your first down dog of the day. Really nice. Now we're going to twist our dog, but before we twist, take 1 big foot step forward with both feet, and then widen your feet the width of your mat. So shorter and wider with your stance. Soften your knees a little bit. Take your left hand, reach it outside your right calf or ankle. And then instead of just thinking of twisting your head underneath, I want you to push down through your right palm, lengthen through your back muscles, and then try to peek underneath your right armpit. Yes. Take 1 more breath in. And then look forward, left hand, find your plank pose. You're going to need to walk your feet in and back a little bit. And then we're only going to twist from the belly button down. So palms stay down, shoulders stay squared, but drop both heels to the right. We're going to hold this for 3 breaths. Now, as you breathe here, can you drop your right hip a little bit more, but can you lift your left hip bone up towards the ceiling? So you feel that twist around the belly button. 1 more breath in. And then bring the heels back to neutral. Drop your knees. Take a moment, sit back to child's pose for 3 breaths. So if you could show up in your highest self, how would you want to show up in a twisted situation? Would you want to be calm? Do you want to feel grounded? Would you want to be able to access your breath? How can you bring that information with you as we do this warm-up on the second side? Shift your weight forward to your tabletop. Lengthen your left leg and your right arm, but keep the toenails down and the fingertips down. And then as you breathe in, lift the arm and the leg together to your extended tabletop. Now your next breath in, start to find that smiley face, that extended cow, and then round, tap the toes and the fingers round the cat. Lift up to your cow. And round up into your cat. 1 more, inhale and exhale. Now we're just finding the extended table and then bend the back knee, sweep the hand around, Utthita Dhanurasana. As you find the foot, kick that foot into the hand, and then instead of looking down or back, look forward. And then push down all the way from up in your shoulder, down the whole length of your left arm. Take 1 more breath in, and then gently releasing, hand, knee, tuck the toes, find your downward facing dog. Really nice. We're going to prepare to twist our dog, but we're going to set ourselves up for success. So we're going to walk the feet forward, and then all the way out to the edges of the mat. You're going to soften the knees a little bit, then take that right arm across and through.
And then it's not just, you're not dumping the weight in your wrist. Your back muscles are engaged. The whole length of your left arm is pushing down towards the floor. Then you spin and look up towards the ceiling. Last breath in. And then release, right palm to mat, find your plank pose. Take a breath in. Can you broaden your collarbone strong through the arms? Now drop both heels to the left. Now my tendency is for my right hand to get a little bit lighter. Push down through your right palm a little more, but lift your right hip up towards the ceiling. Yes. One more breath in. And then swing the heels back to center, back to downward facing dog this time, because that's the end of the warm-up. Start to move to sun salutations. Look to the front of the mat. Walk or step your feet. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold and deepen. Sweep those arms out and all the way up. And then hands to heart center. One half salutation just to get movement and breath coming together. Sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Not everything can be twisted. Sometimes just something straightforward. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out and up. When we are navigating tricky situations like twists, hands to heart center, 1 Surya A, it finds that I appreciate simplicity a lot more. Swan dive and fold over my legs. As you inhale, lift up, find that tabletop. Just classic vinyasa here. Plant the hands, walk it back. And you know the drill. You could modify, you could skip, you could take it slower or faster. We're all meeting in that down dog for 3. And for 2. And then we're going to look to the front of the mat, walking, stepping, or a light hop. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out and up. Hands to heart center. Pause for just a moment. We're just going to do 2 rounds of lunge salutations. And there's just 2 things that I'm inserting that are a little bit different. The first one is this. From your down dog, much like we did in the plank, I'm going to invite you to bring your feet together, swing the heels to one direction, but this top foot is going to be stacked. I'm not in a plank. I'm in a down dog, but twisted. Okay, so that's thing 1. The second one is we'll jump through, and when we're on our back, we're going to be doing the arm balance of Ekapada Kundinyasana, but on our back. So it's like an open pair of scissors, but then we twist and push this way, okay? So standing at the front of your mat, as you inhale, circle sweep those arms out and up. Exhale, swan diving and folding. Inhale, half lift. Now step your left foot to the back of the mat and find a little lunge. Plant your left hand, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, just 2 breaths, nice simple twist. Not collapsing in that left arm or shoulder, but feeling long all the way through the wingspan of the arms. Lower that right hand down, step back to that downward facing dog. Now here's where we're going to do our twist. So I'm going to bring my feet together. I'm going to come a little onto the balls of my feet and then swing both heels to the right. My left foot will stack on top of my right, so it's not actually touching the mat. And then I'm holding for 2, and I'm really trying to access that twist from the waist. Now I'm going to swing back to classic down dog. Look into the center of your mat, jump through to your boat. Now you find your boat. Now we're going to lower our boat and then find our arm balance on the floor. Left leg long, right leg up to the ceiling. Swing your left arm outside your right leg. Now diagonally push out and up. Yes, that's your arm balance, just right here on your back. Stay 1 more inhale. Now's your vinyasa. Come out, bend the knees, rock and roll. Either vinyasa or straight to down dog. That kind of movement can really elevate the heart rate. So we want to be nice and gentle here. Now we're going to swing the second side of that twisted down dog. So feet together, heels lift, heels to left. Now right foot is stacked on top of the left. Keep pushing through the right arm. Shoulders nice and squared. Now swing back to classic down dog, and we'll close it out with the lunge on the second side. So look forward, step the left foot forward, right knee down. We do the arm balance on the second side. I didn't forget it, I promise. Right hand down, left arm reaches up. Again, resisting that temptation to collapse in the right arm, the whole wingspan of the arms is really activated. Then looking down, left hand down, step that right foot forward, fold. Sweeping those arms out and up, hands to heart center. Release your arms, close your eyes, pause for a moment. Think back to that central question. How do you want to show up in twisted situations? What qualities would you be embodying? How would it feel in your body and in your breath? Now, as you blink open your eyes, keep that commitment. Second side, sweep the arms out and up. Swan dive and fold. Inhale, half lift. Step the right foot back, keep the knee lifted. Right palm plants, left arm to ceiling, just 2 breaths. One more breath in. Plant the left hand, step back to your down dog. Feet together, lift the heels, swing to the right. You can do exactly what we did last time, or take your left leg, float it up towards the ceiling in a twisted, open, funky down dog. One more breath in. If you lifted the left leg, lower it. Swing those feet back to center. Look to the center of your mat, jump through, find your boat. Lower your boat, second side of that supine arm balance. Right leg straight, left leg to ceiling. Swing that right arm over, and then diagonally push up and away. Hold 2. Yes, what muscles are you using? One more breath in. Then up and over, either vinyasa or straight to the dog. Sometimes when we're moving through twisted situations, we gotta know when to take a break. So pacing yourself. Second side of that twisted dog, bring the feet together. Lift the heels, swing the heels to the left. So right foot is stacked on top. You could stay right here or sweep that right leg up to the ceiling, opening that twisted funky dog. One more breath in. Lowering that right leg if you chose to lift it. Come back to center. Second side of that twist, right foot forward. Left knee stays lifted as you plant the left palm. Reach that right arm up. Big breath in. Look to the front of the mat, stepping left foot forward, it meets the right. Sweep those arms out and up. Hands gather, heart center. Release the arms, close the eyes. Give yourself that micro meditation moment. Revisiting that central question where we get really clear about our hopes and our aspirations, about how we would like to show up in twisted situations. If we were able to bring, our best toolkit to those challenging situations, what would that look and feel like? And how can I practice doing that right here? Moving into our standing sequence, start to blink open the eyes. As you inhale, bring your hands to heart center. Start to lower into a soft chair. Nothing too deep. Keep it simple. Now inhale in your chair. We're gonna take a hovering twist. So I'm gonna take my left elbow across and down, but I'm not gonna touch it or hook it. I'm just hovering. I'm gonna make sure I'm still breathing, but I also can't collapse here because I have to stay hovering. Take one more breath. Now look down, and now drop that left knee to that right outer knee. left elbow to right outer knee. Shift your gaze to the mat. Option, baby flamingo. Either pop up onto the ball of your left foot. That's option 1. Lift your left heel to your glute. That's option 2. Extend your left leg back. That's option 3. Wherever you are, take one more breath in. Exhale, everybody, left foot to back of the mat. High lunge, reach both arms up. Enjoy not being in a twist. Take a full round of breath. Now, as you inhale, reach taller. As you exhale, left knee to chest, hands to heart center. Good. Now, inhale here. Take your right hand to your left knee. Twist to your left, reach your left arm behind you. Steady breath. If this is too much, lower your left toes, but stay in the twist. Start to slowly come out of the twist. Left hand is going to come outside your right knee or crossed hands down to the foot. If you find your foot, extend that leg forward. 2. Right hand is either on knee or foot. Left arm sweeps open. Second time twisting. 2. Last breath in. Face forward, bend the knee if you extended the leg, hands to heart. Step back to that high lunge. Let that right leg relax. Yeah. Reach those arms up. Now take your left arm forward, your right arm back, twist. Can you make this a little bit softer? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how. Bend your back knee a little bit. Just soften it. Now, as you bend your left knee, can you pull your right hip back a little? Yes. Now the twist is so much easier. Take one more breath. Now you're going to open to warrior 2. So you're just going to do this beautiful windmill action and open to warrior 2. Notice how the body may almost be taking like a sigh of relief at having so much space, not being in a twist. Hands come to waist. Turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. Prasarita Padottanasana. Start to hinge forward and fold. Nothing twisted here, just a nice soft forward fold. I'm even doing something that's kind of not super technical. I'm just kind of letting myself dangle here for a couple breaths. You know, sometimes when we know a twisted situation is on the horizon, then we have the advantage of being able to do some prep work to just give ourselves some resting time, some preparatory time. Now, on your next breath in, walk your hands forward until you find that long, active spine. Now, try to keep that length in your spine as you walk your hands to the front of your mat. Feet are going to kind of follow you and end up in a really long pyramid position. Now, take your right hand up into your right hip crease and just gently invite your right hip back. And just feel almost like you opened a door that created more space in the pose, and just breathe there. Now, can you keep that space and just start to lift your right elbow and your right shoulder? We're not even going to lift the arm. We're just lifting the elbow and the shoulder. Can you keep the space in the side of the waist? Keep that door open. Now look down. Gently release the twist, right hand down. Keep walking your hands to the right until your feet end up on kind of those pinky side razor edges. We're just here one breath because we're going to come to the floor. In Gomukhasana, bending the knees and sitting down into Gomukhasana. I'm going to take my peace fingers and invert them so my elbows are pointed up. Loop them around my big toes. Take a beautiful breath in to lengthen my spine. And then exhale, just kind of dropping into the posture. So when I ask myself the question, how would I like to show up in twisted situations? I would like to stay calm. I would like to feel grounded. I would like to feel like I can still access feedback from my body as opposed to just running and escaping up into my mind. Slowly starting to lift the spine. Now I'm going to give you two options. One is like an option that's like the pathway to a little more ease, but is still a twist. The other is to take that arm balance we already did on the floor and play with it in the more traditional orientation on our hands. So to play with either of those, I'm going to lift my right knee and plant my right foot. Option one would be Ardha Matsyendrasana B, and you take that seated twist but really work the twist. Option two, that left elbow kind of hooks outside the right knee. I lift my pelvis to plant my hands, and then I start to find that arm balance that we did on the floor from here on my hands. Wherever you've chosen to be, take 2 more rounds of breath. And then as we come out, either vinyasa to down dog or straight to downward facing dog. All meeting in that dog. Taking a couple more breaths here. How do you want to show up in those uncertain, unexpected, weird, twisted situations? Look forward, walk, step, or hop, half lift. Build your chair from right here. Bend the knees, sink the hips. As you lift your spine, hands come to heart, that nice soft chair. Now we'll hover this twist. So I start to twist to the left. I drop down, but my right elbow is not touching anything but air right now. I'm just using my breath, working the twist. Now as I exhale, I'm going to hook that right elbow outside the left knee. Now here's that balance play. So first look down at the mat. Little baby flamingo would be just to pop up onto the ball of your right foot. Kind of a maybe adolescent one. Kick your heel to your glute. And then adult flamingo, extending right leg back. Right foot to back of mat. Come out of your twist, reach your arms up. Take a breath or two. Let everything kind of reorient to not being twisted. Now we've got that pretty challenging standing work, okay? So inhale here. Exhale, knee to navel, hands to heart. Left hand to right knee, right arm behind you, find your twist. Stay in your body, stay connected to your breath. Now as you look forward, exit the twist, but take your right hand outside or inside your right knee, or hands crossed to the foot. Extend if you'd like. Then re-sweep that right arm back and around into the twist. 2. Coming out of the twist, bend the front knee, step back to that high lunge. Really let that back leg take some of the weight so that left leg can relax. Reach those arms up. Now reach right arm forward, left arm back. For me, this twist can feel so congested. So take out some of that congestion. Bend your back knee. And as you bend your right knee, pull your left hip back and around. Suddenly that twist feels so much more accessible. One more inhale. Now windmill it open to warrior 2. Ha, that feels nice. Take a breath. Let the hands find the waist. Straighten that left knee, turn the toes. Inhale, tall.
Exhale, fold.
Let it be kind of gooey and soft and non-technical. Let it be what it needs to be in order for you to work in the twist in a more skillful way. Now, before we move into the twist, we want to find space. So first, walk the hands forward, lengthen your spine. Now, can you keep this space in the spine as you walk your hands to the front of your mat and your feet find that long pyramid? Maybe take a breath just to check in. Did I lose the space? Can I find it? Now lift your left hand up to your left hip crease, and it's like you take your left hip and you just gently push it back, like you open a doorway in this left side of your waist. Now keep that doorway open as you lift your left elbow and your left shoulder, almost like a modification of revolved triangle. One more breath. This is a lot. Now look down, release the left hand. Keep walking the hands to the left. Feet are going to end up on that razor edge. I'm just taking one deep breath in and then lowering to my Gomukhasana. Sitting down, I'm going to invert my hold on my big toes. I'm going to sit up tall as I breathe in, and then just kind of melt my spine forward and down. Thinking about these twisted situations and starting our line of inquiry from a place of hope, from a place of aspiration, getting really clear about how we want to feel in that twisted or tricky situation. Start to lift up, and then again, you have those two choices, either the seated twist or the arm balance. Taking about 3 more breaths. And then final vinyasa opportunity of the practice, or back to your down dog. And instead of coming down to child's pose, we're essentially going to do child's pose on our back. We just call it Pavanamuktasana. So looking at the center of your mat, just kind of jumping or seating yourself through. Come to lie on your back and just hug the knees and the legs in towards the torso. I often hold my opposite wrist here and just do a little mild rocking. And then we'll begin to release the feet onto the mat, keeping the knees bent. Bring the arms alongside you. So we're going to set up for a bridge pose, but there will be a twisted element to this bridge. So just know that that's coming, okay? So I would suggest starting with your feet a little wider than you traditionally do. Palms are going to be down alongside you. And before you lift up your pelvis or your spine, I actually want you to push your shoulders towards the floor. Yeah. Now keep that activity in the shoulders. Now start to push into your feet and lift the pelvis and the spine. Really nice. Now shift your weight to your left foot. Hug, or not really hug, but lift your right knee in towards your chest and then kick it up to the ceiling. And then swing it diagonally to the left. Your right hip will lift a little bit. So you've literally twisted your bridge. Take 2 more breaths. Beautifully done. As you bend your right knee, right ankle over left knee, settle your pelvis down on the mat. So you're in like an open figure 4. Take your arms out. like a T position, palms are down. And then keeping that figure 4, swing your legs to the left. The right foot will kind of step on the floor, that right knee up towards the ceiling. If you want a little kickstand here, sometimes I'll take my left hand to my right inner thigh or knee. I'm not really pushing it away as much as I am just giving it a little support. And noticing we've played with a lot of different twists today, and we will continue to do so over the next 3 weeks. Some twists allow us to really soften and rest in. Others require us to show up with our full attention and physical presence. Start to gently come out of that twist, sweeping the legs back to center. And then just slide your right thigh on top of your left. Twisted roots, drop your knees to the right for that twisted roots twist. And starting to glide back up to center, uncrossing the legs, and just a brief pause in constructive rest. Widen your feet, let the inner knees tent together. And then I like to place my hands right below my belly button on my lower abdomen and just pause before we do that closing sequence on the second side. When you think about situations that fall under that twisted category, do you tend to kind of show up the same way every time? And what we've learned today is different twists require a different response. Separating the inner knees, bringing the feet back for that bridge position, arms alongside the body. Now, same thing, before you lift, I want you to push your shoulders into the mat. Keep that activity. Now push into the feet, lift the pelvis, the spine. As you shift your weight to your right foot, left knee lifts up, and then left leg kicks to the ceiling, and then swings to the right. Hold, 3, 2, strong right glute, 1 more breath in. Now bend the left knee, left ankle over right knee, slowly settle the spine and the pelvis down. Take the arms out of the way, T position. And then that figure 4 twist, legs to the right. Left knee is pointed up towards the ceiling. Maybe use that right hand around the left foot or to kind of hold that knee and leg in place. Noticing where you're experiencing this twist in the body. Not all twists feel the same. So feeling what's here. If you're using that right hand, gently release it. Let the legs kind of shift back up to center. Slide the left thigh over the right. And then drop twisted roots, knees and legs to the left. Last breath in this twist. As you come back to center, uncrossing the legs, constructive rest, widen the feet, tent the inner knees, hands finding their way on the lower belly. In the same way we opened up space in the spine or alongside the waist, see if you can open up space for a deeper breath here. Feeling the breath beneath the palms of the hands, resting on the belly. As we shift towards Shavasana, gently separating the knees to extend the legs, letting the arms just fall down towards the earth. Feeling like the whole body is unfolding, taking up all of its space on the mat. No constriction here. Just full and open presence. As you rest in your Shavasana, visit once more that question, how do I want to show up in twisted situations? Notice how your response feels in your body. Memorize that feeling of your highest self, your most elevated skillfulness, showing up in those challenging situations. Let yourself feel that sensory experience. And then without moving, deepen the breath. From that deeper breath, let renewing movement come. And let that movement build and grow naturally until without any sense of hurry or rush, you find your way back to a comfortable seat. We'll bring the palms of the hands together. Thankful for all of the ways in which this physical practice allows us to learn so much about ourselves. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, which sounds like these 4 words. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Victory to all of our practices.